The raw and the real and the raw. The truth that hurts, but we don't reverse, and we never fall. There's death before dishonesty. We stick to that law, we stick to the code, we stick to the bark when we walk the walk. Alright, this is the pedigree. Family is first, mom will more forever until the day they bury me. I never fear death, we all die eventually. Fucking positivity, represent the centerpiece until I rest in peace.
Zep Dog, aka the Pedigree, coming to you with the raw and the real from Opotiki Harbour. Beautiful, and the birds in the background. This is a requested one that I've had a few times. It's the portrait pictures. So anyway, it was well, I got this t-shirt on, and the pictures you would have seen at the start. It was the memorial run, 2008 memorial run for Notorious. At the time I was parked up in Riverton, which everyone should know where that is, but if you don't, it's the bottom of the South Island, the bottom of the far south even. So I was parked up at Riverton, drove to Dunedin. I had, I think I brought 10 prospects, maybe one, might be 10 prospects with me. It was organised all the way flew to Auckland, got us a van, and we went to a place called Pukekohe. There's a marae out there, I don't know if anybody's heard of it, but South Auckland, there's a marae and a uripai out there. So we drove out to the Pukekohe and got there, and there's no one there. I haven't been a good communicator my whole life, and I'm still not really into phones and all that. If something changes a date, somebody should tell me. I'm not ringing into chicken with everybody every half an hour. That was never me. So anyway, we got there, and then Pukekohe at the time, there was the marae at the back, and there was just the open field and the caravan in the middle. There was nothing else. And we got there for the start of Memorial Run, and there was no one there. So I made a phone call, and it had been delayed for 2 days. So I got delayed for 2 days. I made the phone call, and so I'm not going to wait around Auckland for 2 days, so we went back to Turangi. We waited for 2 days and probably had a few beers in Turangi and talked a bit with the dogs there, and went back to Auckland. And from there we went to all the way up. Couldn't name all the places, but we ended up going right to the Cape Reinga, right to the top. Beautiful there. And then headed back down. We come all the way down, and on the way we were stopping at different uripas and showing our respect to different brothers that had passed before us. And from there Auckland, we come past Tauranga, and then started heading toward the east, or down the east coast, and we got to a little place called, and I could be pronouncing it wrong, but it's Opape, Opotiki. So we got there, and at this time, as if anyone that's been listening to my channel, my platform, I'm not into pictures, wasn't into anything like that at all. And we got to I think it was at the uripa, the marae was there, and I don't sleep in wharenuis. So I obviously didn't sleep in the wharenui with everyone else, so I drank some bottle of whiskey and just we had a van, so I just went to sleep beside the van. Woke up in the morning, and the big boss, the King of Kings, was, Zep Dog, come here. It's like, what was that for? And he's like, well, for a photo. I was like, fuck that. And he's like, get a photo. So what for? And he goes, this photo's for a Notorious book. So that's how the portraits come about. I think there's 4 pictures there at the start. You see them, there are 4 pictures. And that's where they got taken, or my ones got taken. So from there, obviously you could have a look in my eyes, you could see I didn't want to do it. I was hungover as I didn't want to participate in that event. But I did it because he was my boss, and salutes to the King of Kings. Anyway, from there we carried on down the east coast, And we got, I don't know where we got to, the navigator that was with us at the time, he got a bit drunk and sort of led us off the beaten path, and we ended up in some different flavours area. And we pulled up here, I don't know where. We're on a gravel road in the middle of freaking nowhere. And next minute there was a car full of, I don't know how many, there was a car full of them freaking screaming out all their willy dog. Wanna say hello? Hey willy dog. Okay, he doesn't want to participate. So there was a few of them screaming out their gang slogans at us. And at the time I had a big piece of driftwood, like a walking stick. So I jumped out of the van, and it was like a boomerang, this walking stick. And it sort of come around, straight in their window, and boom! That was them, they're out of there, and then the navigator sort of snapped out of it and said, oh, we're going the wrong way, we need to go back out this way. So we went back out there. There was more little war stories, little stories like that on the journey. But anyway, we ended up Gisborne and then going down the east coast. And I think at the bay, Hawke's Bay, because it was 2 days late, we had our tickets booked for Wellington. So we went off in our way, went to Wellington. We had a choice, and it already cost enough money in as it is. I think that was like 10 days. So we went off to Wellington and flew home back to the far south, and the rest of them went over to Taranaki to pay their respects to a couple other dogs. Yeah, and on the way over to Taranaki, wherever they were going, I wasn't there, so I shouldn't really speak on it, but they went into the different flavours hood, and they were lined up waiting for the dogs, so there was heaps of them. Anyway, heaps of them got run over, and there was heaps of takis and police and all that kind of dramas. But that's the story of the portraits. From there, Jono Rotman, he come back and took some more pictures 10 years later. It might have been 8 years later. He come back and took, not of me, of other dogs, and he visited the far south and did another tour, took some more pictures, and then from there he made this book. So if I was good at editing and all that, I'd put it all in, and this is where this book comes from. So if you have a look at the date on there, so that's where the book come from. From the book, I went to magazines. I think I'm in here somewhere. Let's have a look. There we go, there's one of the galleries. I don't know how many galleries he did, I could ask, but I still wasn't really into it. There's Willy Dog, this is who Willy Dog's named after. The King of Kings' brother. But we went from a book to a magazine to Switzerland. And as you see at the start, there's some big huge ones. I don't know how huge those ones are. Those portraits in the galleries were 6 foot by 4 foot, and I think the ones over in Switzerland would have been 3, 4, 5 times bigger. So yeah, I went from a memorial run in the middle of nowhere to taking a picture, a portrait, from that to a book, to a magazine, to around the world. So I wasn't keen on any of that, but it is what it is, and I am who I am today. It has helped me get on to doing Yakshu, because I was already out there anyway, and now I'm out there even more. Those portraits got sold around the place too. There was one place I tried my best to, I won't say his name, some rich man in Queenstown had 2 portraits in his house. I tried to check it out, but they had security, so you couldn't check it out. So I think one of them was me in there. People bought big portraits of us. So anyway, as I said, it turned into a picture in the middle of nowhere on a memorial run to worldwide, to now I'm on YouTube talking to everyone. Next week I'll start talking about my journey prospecting my experiences on prospecting, what I had to do, what I liked, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. But everybody that listens to this, clock in on Thursday live at 8 p.m, 80 block, and we're going to do something different. In the meantime, there might be some other projects pop up on here. If not, I'm out. Are you out, Willie Dog? Willie Dog. You hear the tui. Willie Dog. You want nothing of the camera. Anyway.
Colors and my brothers alive, but when the cemetery, it is what it is, and that's the way it's meant to be. It's the one and only Zap Dog, it's the pedigree.